shall we get into Fantastic Four?
Yes, the final big hitter of the summer that we were waiting for.
Yeah, it's the last Marvel film we're going to get for like over a
Yeah,
year nearly.
that as well. Which back at the beginning of Marvel wouldn't have been a shock, but then we got so used to having like 2 a year that yeah, it'll be strange not having a Marvel film.
See, I feel like you think I'm going to be really negative about this film.
No.
Okay. I am disappointed, but I am also aware that I'm disappointed because I had insanely high hopes.
Yeah, I mean, we said it the other week on the run up to this. It's unfortunate, and this is like in the best way possible for just comic book fans. It's unfortunate for Fantastic Four that Superman was so fucking good. Because the chances of Marvel and the MCU hitting that level was going to be slim. It's just like DC nailed it with Superman, and with the current state of the MCU, it would be difficult to reach that with the Fantastic Four. So I think we were always going to be going in with a sort of this isn't going to be as good attitude a little bit.
Yeah, I think the issue to me when I started to get a bit nervous was as we were getting close to the film, it just felt like they were showing more and more to the point where I wasn't really excited because it was like I feel like I've seen most of it, which is always a bad place to be for a film in your marketing cycle.
Do you know what? I feel like, and maybe I'm just like, I don't know, the run up for Superman, I don't feel like the cast did a lot of like the usual circuit stuff. They did it as the film launched and after. I feel like Fantastic Four, there was already loads, that they were already doing loads on the circuit of promoting it. And it was like, I feel like I'm seeing them everywhere and clips of them everywhere. And I'm like, the film's not even out yet. It almost felt like it was a bit over promoted in a way.
I think that's just traditional promotion, to be honest. I think you may have just saw more of it because you fall more into the target audience.
Maybe.
I have. I don't know what it is because it's not a bad film. Let me be completely clear because I am.
It's
it is going to come across as me being negative because it could have been so much more. The visual style of the film is phenomenal. It's exactly what I wanted.
Yep.
They nailed that retro futuristic vibe really nicely.
Did.
The performances from the actors are genuinely brilliant.
Yep.
Now, this is my first complaint, and this is such a weird complaint to have, but I think you'll get what I mean.
Okay.
The CGI is too good in places. And as a result of that, when the CGI falls to being average, it's really obvious and more noticeable than if it was just average for the entire film.
I know what you mean. There was definitely, I'm with you. I think this visual style looked stunning. I loved this world and what they did with it, and that it wasn't the usual MCU vibe. It was something very different. But yeah, there was points where this is where I think a reason why Superman was just that above, because Superman, we know, had a year of post-production. Marvel had like, what, 6 months?
Yeah, about that.
And that's why things like, there was a couple of VFX shots here and there that clearly didn't quite get the same level of polish, either because they couldn't go back and reshoot a little bit to make it easier for the thing they were trying to do because it wasn't quite right, or like just didn't have the time. There was I saw loads of people complain about like, oh, they've used a CGI child. They have come out and said that no, none of the child is CGI. It is a.
I think I know what people are complaining about.
But
though.
I think it's not that the kid's CGI. The kid's clearly on a green screen at some points. For things like when the things picked him up, or there's different things, and it's very obvious. But then because it's a kid, then it looks like we latch onto the kid looks weird, so we think that's CGI. When really it's just a kid doesn't know how to act on a green screen like an adult can. Like an adult understands what they're doing and they can kind of lean into.
Yeah.
They can picture it in their head, so they can lean into how to fake it. A child can't do that. It doesn't know that it's meant to be acting in a certain way for a green screen. So I think that's where some of the VFX shots struggled.
Yeah. The big one that took me out of it, and you know my opinion, as long as it doesn't break my immersion and make me go, whoa, what the fuck, I don't care if it's kind of janky looking. But to go from like the space chase and like meeting Galactus for the first time and how pristine every frame
beautiful.
of that was,
I fucking love that.
to then Johnny and the Silver Surfer stood completely still in Times Square having a conversation, feeling like a fully CGI character on a fully CGI background looked like one of them was superimposed, is insane. I don't know how, when she's in Times Square and the only one in the shot, she is CGI. Yeah, they will have based it off of the actress doing the modelling, but still, she's completely CGI in that shot. And the background is CGI. I don't understand how it looks like she is badly CGI'd into the scene. Like that's one of the things that I get, like when the Thing looks a bit rough on a practical set. I'm like, okay, I get it. You've done your best there. But then I see that and I'm like, how?
I know why that'll have been. So, yes, it's a CGI character on a CGI background. With CGI at that scale, everything is rendered in layers and then composited together. The character technically will be rendered out on a separate layer. And what that is the compositing of putting it all together hasn't been polished. That's why something like that.
That unfortunately is just so blaringly obvious when when your brain is suspending disbelief on two things, one of which has the danger of triggering uncanny valley because your brain's like, whoa, what the fuck, that's not a real person. It's just like, how's that happen? And this thing, that shot probably wouldn't have bothered me if
had we not had
20 minutes before that I'm not seeing some of the best CGI I've seen in a long time.
It's obvious. I think it's bits where they've obviously maybe had to reshoot something late and it's got pushed back down the list and it's obviously not got the same polish. The things like that chase sequence, which probably my favorite sequence in the film,
absolutely,
with like
it's phenomenal,
through the black hole to then her surfing through the wormhole, like it was so fucking well done. That will obviously have been a priority. And it's like, they made sure that looks beautiful. Thank God. Because if it hadn't, I think that could have been terrible for the film. But yeah, it's unfortunate that like some little bits are noticeable, but unfortunately that has become the Marvel way. And I think that is down to, they only give themselves 6 months to do post-production. They need to be, which maybe will improve going forward.
I think it's a 2-tier thing. The first tier is what you've said there. It is absolutely the Marvel scale and speed of production. The other one is, and I'm going to say about James Gunn and the way he works, because Superman's just come out. They were shooting around a similar time.
Yeah.
It's a natural comparison, but also he's done Marvel films and no one ever complained about any CGI in the Guardians films.
No.
And it's because he is well known within the industry for planning his shoots phenomenally well. He takes a more old school CGI approach of he knows what's going to be CGI before he starts rolling a damn camera, and it's never a case of we'll fix it in post.
No.
It's a case of we know this is what's going to be done in post. We know what we need to do to make that as easy as possible, so we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And he does very limited reshoots, which means you don't have footage getting added very late on that needs a whole butt ton of CGI.
Yeah,
And then once you like compound them two things together, you get a very big difference in the noticeability of CGI.
yeah, which I do think is just a Marvel like exec production level issue.
Absolutely.
I mean,
It's something that can be solved if they just allow people a bit more time and they require directors to be a bit more clear cut on their shot list.
I will like the suits and all the practical costuming all looked great.
Everything practical is amazing.
Yeah, they have definitely, and like this isn't to like just shit on like everything other than a few VFX shots. This is definitely a much better step than some of the Marvel films we've had over the last like 5 years, because they have gone back to more practical, and kudos to them for that.
The good news about the reception of this film being overwhelmingly better than my opinion of it is I do think Marvel is going to learn the right lessons from this film.
I agree.
And hopefully they can go, right, this is clearly why we did better here, but we weren't quite perfect in these areas, let's make them better, instead of just going, see, they're happy now, crack on as you were. I hope they learn the right lessons. But I do also have some issues with the plot.
Well,
I don't know if plot's the right word. You let me know if you think it's a plot problem.
Okay.
The overall plot of the film is genuinely really good.
Mm-hmm.
They took something out of the trailers, which I was very excited for, which was the line in the trailers of Reed going, I stretched the bounds of the known universe and they heard. That just got taken out of the film. He doesn't say that at any point in the fucking film. And I was excited for that because I was like, oh, why does Reed think he's accidentally summoned Galactus? Or, like, it's teased that Charlotte Ball, the Silver Surfer, she is the one that chooses the planets for Galactus.
Yeah.
Why did she choose Earth? Like, that felt like it was set up.
Yeah, there was no answer to that. And do you know what? I bet there was something in there originally with him first playing around with the little teleporting the egg and figuring that out. And he thinks whatever he did with that caused it, and they've just cut it.
I think the editing booth is mainly what hurt this film. And my real gripe about this film, like my only real like big issue is this is a comparison I hate to make because it just summons the worst people in the world. Do you remember when I watched Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a lot of good stuff here, but it felt like every 30 seconds we had to watch an hour of slow motion. Because he just loves slow motion. What was this film's fucking obsession with montages? I felt like I was watching YouTube in 2006 at times. It's like, the Fantastic Four, here's an old-timey montage of who they are. And then we get a little bit. And then it's like, here's a montage of them being heroes. And then there's a bit of story. And then, Galactus is coming. We need to try and work on solutions. Here's a montage of them doing stuff. And it's just like, cool. You are sub 2 hours. Give yourselves 20 more minutes of runtime. And don't give me a third fucking montage.
Do you know what I think that is an issue stemmed from? This is quite clearly an Earth that has been going on for a long time or whatever. We know the Fantastic Four have been around for years. This is Marvel trying to be like, shit, we need to show them that the Fantastic Four have been here for a while. They've been doing all this hero stuff. Like, how do we keep showing that? And they just did it with a montage. The flip side, unfortunately, of that is with Superman, we've just experienced being thrown straight into a universe, and they didn't do any of that because they didn't need to. Like, you could have very easily, a lot of the montage stuff, like, I get the first one, kind of the way they set it up as it's the show and it's like explaining they went into space.
That one was absolutely, because it had a purpose, it was done stylistically, it made sense.
The one where it's like trying to show them as heroes and all the different people that they defeated, I'm like, you don't need to show us that when the only character out of all of that montage that really mattered was learning that Mole Man existed. you could have him appear later and just be like, oh, have a little quick cut to they apprehended him and stopped him. Okay, now back to like to be like, oh, this is who Mole Man was. He appeared whatever time ago. This happened. Now we're back to present day.
I get what they're trying to do, because obviously their goal is, because of the level of threat they're dealing with in the film, the goal is to quickly establish the Fantastic Four as incredibly competent heroes.
Yes.
And I kind of get the difficulty there, because in the MCU, ironically, the heroes have been famously incompetent.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a way of they've been like not good at being heroes, but they kind of just panic their way through shit and find the right outcome in the end. Whereas they didn't want us to think of the Fantastic Four that way. It's like, look, the Fantastic Four are great. They never panic in a crisis. They get stuff done. And because they're so organized, everyone fucking loves them. I think it was... I think then 40 minutes later, when they come back from seeing Galactus, and they're like, just doing another montage there, it just, it fucks up the scale of time.
Yeah.
How long's passed in that montage? A week? A month? Like, what are we looking at? And I just felt like it didn't work, and it messed with the pacing. Because I left that film, like me and Jenna, every film we've watched for the last probably 6 years at this point we've watched together. So, I'm not saying we have the same taste, but we normally have similar tastes on things because of the nature of watching films together and discussing it.
Well, yeah.
I came out of that film going, it probably needed another 20 minutes. She came out of that film going, that felt like it dragged on a bit. Jenna's like me, she loves 3-hour films. You've got a problem with your pacing if after a film that's an hour and 55 minutes, she's like, that was a bit much. Like, something clearly didn't line up there.
Yeah. My issue sort of lines up with some of this, like why they use the montages, and kind of leans into this whole plot issue there with this established world. I get why they've done this, and I can see what they're doing. It irks me that, and this is probably again because we've had Superman recently, a very fantastical superhero world with quite clearly lots of heroes and lots of villains and stuff going on. This felt like Marvel was like, ooh, we're going to go a bit more fantastical with this world, with the aesthetic and whatnot. But they only want to dip their toe in because in this whole Earth, it's just the Fantastic Four exist. There is quite clearly no other fucking heroes. And it's like, I know what they're doing, because I've kind of realized why they're doing it this way. And I'm like, I have to just accept it. Because clearly, you've got to look at it as like, our main MCU Earth is Avengers Earth. We have Fox X-Men Earth. We have new X-Men Earth that's been teased. And we have Fantastic Four Earth. Obviously, Secret War is then just going to merge them all. And we are going to probably get a more fantastical, loads of heroes, loads going on, all in one Earth, hopefully. It's once again, it's like, I'm like, Marvel, you've dipped your toe, but you just go all in. Just stop caring and just give us like a fantastical world. But
I'm not comparing the quality of the film here. I felt similarly to how I felt leaving The Flash, where I was like, there's definitely something there, but you've fumbled the execution a bit. With The Flash, I was like, there's something there, but you've just fucked the execution in every way imaginable. With this, I'm like, you have made probably 3 decisions that has really negatively impacted the outcome of this film.
Yeah.
And it always sucks when, as a viewer, you're so keenly aware that it's that easy to probably... Not easy, but you know what I mean.
I would say, like, don't get me wrong, some of my issues, like, they are more nitpicky in the grand scheme of things. Like, overall, we've said it already, but, like, the performances were great. The Fantastic Four casting, brilliant. Them acting as a family and the way they're dynamic, stunning. They did a great job. The Silver Surfer, fucking loved that choice and how they kind of set up why it was a female Silver Surfer this time, and some people being like annoyed. I saw some complaints of being like, "Oh, Johnny speaks to her once and she just gives up on like she turns on Galactus." And it's like you're missing the
Yeah,
point of this.
Johnny got charisma like that.
Well, also, probably the first person that's on all these planets that's gone, "Oh, I'm going to figure out your language and actually speak to you in your own language," and that's going to hit this person harder and be like, "Oh shit." Like it's going to get through rather than just a planet that just doesn't understand you. So that whole little arc I thought was really great. I will say, I thought the little Things side story was kind of pointless. Like
butchered in the editing room. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah, there was probably loads cut out, and like I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to show that he's gonna struggle with his like softer side, but he's like a monster to some people's, and then people are gonna start being like weird about the fact that he's trying to date someone normal. But obviously, we don't get any of that. We just get a bit of flirting going on, and
I'm telling you right now, 95% of my issues with this film are solved if it is between 25 and 35 minutes longer.
Possibly, yeah.
I'm telling you, if they just go, we're going to release a 2.5-hour cut of this film, and we're going to polish off all the CGI. If I go and watch that, I'm sure all of my issues are resolved, because most of it is just let it breathe a little bit, let it breathe.
Yeah, and well, or here's my thing, right? If you can't have it longer, just cut that Ben side stuff out. Like I'm not gonna be upset to not see that in this film because there's a world-ending event going on. Like, sure, I'm not expecting Ben to be going to have like relationship issues between the fact that Galactus is about to eat their world. Like, I'm not going to be annoyed if that's not there. You can show that later down the line. So stuff like that where they've kind of tried to keep it in but cut out stuff clearly. It's like you should have just cut it all. And I think that would have helped with pacing and with some of the story stuff, because it's like those are the moments that kind of pull you out of the pacing of the story, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how you feel about how Galactus was portrayed, strength and power wise.
So the way I kind of view Galactus isn't as a bad guy. He's not evil. He is a force of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're upset if the tree knocks over, if the wind knocks over a tree and destroys your car. That's gonna piss you off. But you're not angry at anyone specifically because the wind blows, tree falls. It's no one's fault.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I view Galactus. He eats things that size. Eventually, he's going to eat something you care about.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him inherently evil.
No.
I think they maybe made it come across a bit more evil. I didn't necessarily disagree with that, but it's difficult not to come across evil when you go, give me your child, it will solve my issues.
Well, yeah, I think I'm fine with it being a bit more evil because it involved Franklin, and that was like, we know how powerful Franklin is. The general person doesn't necessarily, but we can understand why he'd then be like a bit obsessive about this idea of having this child to eat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually really liked that Sue was able to fucking push him around, and basically people being like, oh, how the fuck did she push Galactus around? Let's be real, it fucking killed her. Like, she expelled more than she clearly was capable of doing, and it killed her.
She is absolutely that fucking powerful.
Oh yeah, and she's tapping into like a mother's like super strength thing because her child is being stolen by a giant being. The only thing I feel like, yes, the Thing like smashed the building to make him then fall back a bit more. I just wish we'd seen a bit more of them being like, actually, team up vibe towards like the final moments of it, rather than it, because it just felt like there was a very long bit of it's like constantly just her taking a step and pushing to no. Which also brings me on to, they did a great job with the CGI of Reed Richards and his stretching. And this goes back to them not being willing to fully go fantastical. Give me a fucking giant fist, Reed Richards or something. Like, give me his wackier stretching things rather than him just getting plucked and then stretched, where I thought Galactus was then just going to ping him around the Earth.
I do agree with that. I saw some people getting angry that like him being stretched hurt him. That's the logic there is, I believe, and I believe there's room for this in the comics as well, is he has to be really conscious about what he's doing. It's not like a Stretch Armstrong where you can pull it and it passively allows that to happen. He exerts himself to stretch. So Galactus just pulling Reed against his will will hurt.
Well, yeah, and he's also pulling him to like an extreme level of what he's probably...
I mean, there's feats of Reed going a bit more extreme than that, but it's because he's really trying to.
Well, yeah.
When you like don't know what's going on, like you might be able to move your arm around your head really quickly, but if someone just grabbed your arm when you weren't expecting it, and it would fucking hurt, even though your body can handle that. It's the same kind of idea.
But yeah,
I enjoyed when he fucking flung the thing into space and Johnny went and saved him. I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah. And then I'm so glad they did say the line. I'm so glad. Because there was a little point that I was a bit worried that I was like, they're really just not going to do it, are they?
Do you know what is insane, though?
Go on.
We didn't get a single flame on.
No, we didn't.
And that feels insane. Like,
now you've pointed that out, I'm kind of disappointed in that.
Yeah.
I feel like they focus too much on, we've had flame on loads of times in the past, like, let's make sure the Thing says his thing this time. I enjoyed how they did the beard situation, because we'd obviously talked about that. I like that they just were doing it off, like, he does it every day, and we have to save power, so he's got to grow a beard out. Kind of fun.
Overall, the film had a lot to be happy about. I am keenly aware that my feeling of the film being inadequate was because maybe I expected too much. But I'm not going to apologise for feeling like they were promising me the moon and the stars, and then I just got a little lunar rock.
And like, there's just some slight things with the plot, but then like hidden in there are some great moments, like Reed talking to Franklin and being like, I hope you're not like me. And like a dad, like worried about putting his essential trauma onto his child. Like those moments showing her like family matters and how much they actually care for each other. And like Sue's speech to everyone of being like, you're my family, so I will fight for you. And getting everyone to rally behind actually protecting this kid. It was all brilliant and like had those messagings that we've loved, like with the hope in Superman and stuff. Like it was there. It's just then the other little things kind of knocked it off balance a little bit.
Yeah. And we've not discussed it at all yet. There is one genuinely insane decision made in the film. I don't know if you're going to care about this as much as I do. It's an insane fucking decision.
Go on.
So, we see the formation of the Future Foundation.
Yep.
And in the front row, we see one country didn't attend. It is Latveria.
Yep.
Now, this implies the existence of Doctor Doom.
Yep.
There is no way on God's green earth that Doom just sits in Latveria while the world is about to end, and his ego allows him to just go, fuck it, I'll die, and he doesn't waltz in to the Baxter building and just laugh at Reed's idea and then help to make sure the world doesn't end, because if the world ends, how will he get to gloat about the fact he solved the problem?
Yeah.
It's insane to go, yeah, Latveria exists here, Doom exists, and then not pay that off in any way. Because we know the Doom at the end of Fantastic Four is RDJ's Doom.
Mm-hmm. So we know RDJ's Doom is in this world, essentially. Oh, we presume.
So there's two ways to look at it. Either RDJ's Doom is a multiverse hopping Doom that is searching for something.
Yep.
In which case he isn't this universe's Doom. or he is this universe's Doom. If that's the case, why didn't he turn? Clearly, he has the ability to just waltz into the Baxter building.
I think
It's just one of them ones where they clearly wanted to go, Doom exists, but he's not a character in this film. It's just annoying.
So this brings us on to the credit scene that we haven't talked about yet. And so, you know, from when this was announced that RDJ was going to be Doom, I was on the more, I'm okay with this. Let's see what they do. There's a way it can work. Now, I'm still in the party of, I think there's a way they'll make RDJ, the reason it's like RDJ and Tony Stark's face or whatnot, I think they'll come up with a way
Eternal Optimist.
They'll come up with some way to make that plausible enough. My bigger worry, and it comes part and part with them teasing that Doom exists in this world and then like not giving it us till the end, but then we find out that's RDJ Doom. I am scared. Well, no, I am almost certain they are going to butcher Doom as a character and waste it just to do Secret War and Reset.
There is a real danger of that, yes.
I think you're maybe more on the right lines with this. There's a Doom on that Earth, but it's not fully Doom. It's just Latveria exists, and it's not the RDJ Doom. RDJ Doom is a multiverse hopping one, and he's hunting for a Franklin, because obviously we see him interacting with Franklin. He's obviously clearly interested in him, which would make sense because obviously Franklin's really fucking powerful, and doesn't he play a part in Secret War and stuff?
The way I can explain this is Franklin Richards thought the X-Men were cool and then accidentally gave himself the X gene because he thought they were cool. And reality said, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
he is, of anything that could be born to mere mortals, there is nothing more powerful.
So, my worry is they're setting up all this RDJ Doom. We're going to get this Doom that obviously builds Battle World or whatever, or destroys the Fox universe because he's hunting to try and do something. And it's all just going to lead up to Secret War. Doom's defeated, timelines merge, Doom's then thrown away. And my worry is, we're not really going to get a good Doom because we've not had this time to set him up as this like scary threat. We're just suddenly going to have a Doom here, and we're going to be like expected. The casual fan is going to be expected to be like, oh shit, this guy's scary, when they have no context or build up like we did with Thanos. And like, it's going to be so hard for them to get that across quickly enough, in my opinion. They're going to half-arse use Doom with RDJ's face.
They are relying on everyone in the world knowing who Doom is.
And then it's going to have RDJ's face on it. And unless they do some crazy twist where, like, surprise, here's the real Doom at the end, RDJ's Doom was like some weird fakey one, I fear that we then just don't get to see Doom again, because they'll be like, well, we can't use him as another villain in this new merged world because we've just used him and he got defeated. So bye-bye, that's it for Doom. Which is disappointing to me because I fucking love Doom as a villain. And that,
yeah,
after this film and that tease, and I'm just like, it's got me more worried now. And I think then with like Kevin, the things we'll talk about later in the news and stuff, with what Kevin Feige's said since the film's out and confirmed things and whatnot, like, yeah, I'm just, unfortunately, I think they screwed themselves with changing direction, and they need the soft reboot. We've said it for ages. We've known it's coming. People are freaking out for no reason about it. We can get onto that later. But yeah, it's just that final credit scene has me concerned of how well Doom's actually going to be used.
It's a genuine concern because You know, my biggest gripe with superhero media for a long time has been that films are kind of allergic to a villain recurring.
Yes.
They have to like be willing to die for their plan, and then when they inevitably lose, they do die, and then cool, that's one less villain to use. And there are not enough villains that people give a fuck about within the zeitgeist to get away with doing that constantly. And the one villain who didn't die became a hero, Loki.
Yeah.
And again, I don't have an issue with that as long as he's not the only recurring villain. I'm going to remain hopeful. I think our best opportunity is, unfortunately, a not great version of Doctor Doom from RDJ. That is a multiverse hopping Doom that's in search of power. He gets beaten. This causes the worlds to merge, and then the Doom that exists on the current Fantastic Four Earth is part of that merge. And
That
you make
could
it
be...
you make it that he lost his wife or he lost his children or something, and he blames Reed for it. My concern is if there's no relationship between Doom and Reed already, the Fantastic Four, by the time of that cutscene, have existed for 9 years, 10 years.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is they're saying there. So...
I know it's like a meme on the internet, but the Fantastic Four have existed for 10 years and they've not fought Doctor Doom yet. The fuck are we doing?
Yeah, if they...
We know Latveria's existed for 5 to 7 years.
This is the thing. In that scene, if Frank, like, I don't know, they could spin it and it be like, the Doom that is on their Earth, they've yet to, like, he is yet to be fully Doom, and he's yet to have that, like, fallout of relationship with Reed. And maybe he's known by the Fantastic Four, but there's just, like, and maybe Franklin's like, oh, Uncle Doom. And then it's RDJ, and he's like, they're like, wait, you're not our Doom. What the fuck are you? Maybe they try to play it that way. But yeah, I do think there's this issue of, if you don't, this thing, if you don't have Reed and Doom having a relationship already, the only other option is to like have Tony Stark and Doom to have some sort of relationship. And it's like...
Which is also just weird.
Well, yeah, if it's RDJ. I do think that the only hope, and now you've mentioned it, and we've talked about this idea of maybe there's a world hopping one and there's another one that exists. Maybe that when the worlds merge, like Latvia's shown again, and it's like there is a victor in charge, and it's like Doom, essentially, Doom will return.
Yeah.
And maybe that is the hope.
And then we get a genuinely decent, logical casting for Doom that can...
Yeah, and one that's
Fantastic
like
Four for 20 years, yeah.
One that shows us with all the heroes struggling to stop him or something and having to just give up and walk away because he's like, get the fuck out of Latveria or something.
My other hope, which I'm not sure if you can write in a way that makes sense, but could kind of fuck, and it's very comic booky.
Go on.
RDJ's Doom isn't actually Doom, it's a Doom bot.
Oh, and he's just used
So the joke...
a face.
So the joke is every time Doom gets beaten, it's never actually Doom, it's a Doom bot. And that's the only way a person could possibly beat Doom, because it's a Doom bot. I love the idea of Doom hopping the multiverse, working out what universe is the biggest threat to him, and then stealing the face of their biggest hero and putting it on a Doom bot to fuck with them.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They don't cast RDJ to hide that face behind a mask, unfortunately.
No, like, they know exactly what they're fucking doing when they hire RDJ, so there's got to be some logic.
Well, let's be honest. This is all going to play into one scene, and I can see it now. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, is going to punch Doom. He's going to go down, and as he turns back up as he goes in for another punch, the mask's going to come off, and he's going to stop and be like, Mr. Stark? And they're just going to play on that, and then, I don't know, he gets absolutely booted to the next moon by Doom. Like, that's all they're going to play into is some psychological battling. I do think, like, I said it, I think, back with the RDJ thing as a bit of a meme, is like, they end Secret War with, like, whatever the Doom is, he escapes, but then there's a clip at the end that obviously none of the heroes know. They just think he's escaped, and like we get a God Doom comes in and go, "You're not fucking Doom," and just rips out RDJ Doom's spine or something. You know, like the Thanos comic panel,
Yeah.
but do it with actual Doom versus RDJ Doom. I think that could be a really cool way to be like, oh, there's a proper Doom around.
But they're just paying RDJ so much money, I doubt
What?
they're going to bin him off with a dumb joke like a Doombot or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem.
This is the tough thing. We don't know, like, what's the plan after Secret War. But, yeah. I get also some people being annoyed that the second credit was the Mimi credit. Like, just flip them around. I get that. Like,
No, I'm sick of people complaining about funny post-credit scenes.
well, no, I'm fine with the funny one. I'm like, I can understand people being like, give us that one first. I get that because they're like, oh, I waited all this extra time for like a meme
See,
one.
I have a counterpoint. A lot of people only ever expect one and only wait for one.
True.
So they give you the important one.
True.
If
And
you
then
think there's going to be two that are that important, you don't get to be angry because when has there ever been two that are that important?
True. Oh no, yeah. I'm like, if you've chosen to wait that long, like, what are you expecting? Like, the
But
credits
I
are
will
there
say-
for the hardcore fans, and they're never that like crazy revelations since like phase one.
I will say people need to grow the fuck up though, because in my screening we saw the first one, yeah, cool. The second one ends and it's a fucking awesome cartoon style intro
Yeah.
for their in-universe show. Someone goes, I waited all that time for fucking that. My brother in Christ. I have a podcast with 168 episodes where I talk about this shit. You are taking it too seriously. Go touch some grass.
But overall, I did really enjoy Fantastic Four. It is,
Yes, there was so much good about it.
yeah. Considering the last two MCU films have been Thunderbolts and that, I'm like, holy shit, okay, the MCU is going in the right direction. It's a shame that it's taken this long and it's to lead up to the soft reboot, but hopefully that means post soft reboot, we're in the right place creatively to know what the fuck they're doing. I'm hoping that my complaints about them only dipping a toe in Fantastical is me hoping that they're stuck in this in between of we've still got to make it fit like MCU style, but we're trying to push the boat out a bit. That post reboot they can go all in.
Absolutely. I really hope they see that people love the style, but like the overall message is I wish you would have gone a bit harder on it. And then they go, right, cool. People do want that. They want more of it. When we reboot, we can go for that.
Yeah, hopefully.